Okay, so I am going to show you how to use masking in Procreate. The first thing you're going to do is, and here's my example, right? In this drawing, she's wearing a dress and it has these strings of beads, but I need these strings to be continuous, right? The last thing I want to do is, so her arm is here. Last thing I want to do is stop at the top of her arm, then go to the bottom and continue the string. So, I mean, you can see these aren't really that well drawn, but I mean, that's all they need is kind of like alternating stripes of light and shadow and indications of the bead, but it's definitely going to throw off the whole image if they change direction when they get to the arm, right? So I did that all in one layer. And then I use the little magic wand tool. I go to opacity and I slide this down maybe around 50%, just so I can see what I need to cut into. Now, your first instinct here might be to use the eraser, and that could work. But what if you mess up the eraser, like, it's too choppy or something like that, and then you need to get the image back? So that could be a problem because you'll be too far in the undo history to undo the eraser if you made a mistake. So what I do, I mean, this is classic technique from Photoshop, and it's amazing that it's in Procreate as well. It means that Procreate is just such a fully functional program. But what I do is I go into the layer and then just click on it, tap on the layer once, and then you will make a mask. And when you're using the mask, you'll automatically load up black. And I like to use a brush with no opacity. So I have this one and these two have no opacity at all, because the mask will read that opacity. So essentially black means clear. Black means you're removing it. But the beauty of a mask that makes it so versatile, and makes it better than any tool that you might consider for this process is that all that information is still there. And if I mess it up somehow, then I can bring it back just by painting in white, right? So I can constantly readjust it, and I can also do transparency, right? But for now, all I want to do is sort of carefully, and you'll see when I do this hand, which I need to reveal because I'm going to draw it next. But see how I cut too far? So now I'm switching to white, and I can just super easily get the precise selection I want to, in such a way that I really could not do with the eraser. I mean, I could do it with the eraser, but after I mess it up and then forget about it, I'd end up like, I'd end up in trouble. Because if I found out I did something wrong and then I wanted to go back and change it, I wouldn't be able to. But with masking, it's sort of like that information is always there when you need it and you didn't delete it. So that's why masking is the best technique, especially if you've worked hard on one of your elements in Procreate and you need to erase it. You should be masking instead if you have worked hard on anything. If you just have a scribble or a mess or something, then of course erasing it is the best. But if you spent any time designing part of your image, you should not throw that out and use masking instead of erasing.